Welcome to our continuing series, Questions and Answers, from the works of Sri Aurobindo and the Mother. Today, Experiences, Part 3. The words of Sri Aurobindo on experiences are so important that I have included many of his letters to sadhaks concerning their experiences. In his book, Letters on Yoga, one can find many more references to experiences, and I encourage all to read further. From Sri Aurobindo. It is necessary to lay stress on three things. 1. An entire quietness and calm of the mind and the whole being. 2. A continuance of the movement of purification described in the postscriptum, so that the psychic being, in parentheses, the soul, may govern the whole nature. 3. The maintenance in all conditions and through all experiences of the attitude of adoration and bhakti for the Mother. These are the conditions in which one can grow through all experiences with security, and have the right development of the complete realization without disturbance to the system, or being carried away by the intensity of the experiences. Calm, psychic purity, bhakti, and spiritual humility before the divine are the three conditions. The experiences in themselves are right and helpful. I don't think there is any cause for dissatisfaction with the progress made by you. Experiences come to many before the nature is ready to make a full profit from them. To others, a more or less prolonged period of purification and preparation of the stuff of the nature or the instruments comes first, while experiences are held up till this process is largely or wholly over. You have had experiences which are the signs of a future possibility. To have more within the first 1.5 years, it would be necessary to have the complete attitude of the sadhak, and give up that of the man of the world. It is only then that progress can be rapid from the beginning. But why be overwhelmed by any wealth of any kind of experiences? What does it amount to, after all? The quality of a sadhak does not depend on that. One great spiritual realization, direct and at the center, will often make a great sadhak or yogi. An army of intermediate yogic experiences will not. That has been amply proved by a host of instances. You need not, therefore, compare that wealth to your poverty. To open yourself to the descent of the higher consciousness, in parentheses, the true being, is the one thing needed, and that, even if that comes after long effort and many failures, is better than a hectic gallop leading nowhere. Experience in the sadhana is bound to begin with the mental plane. All that is necessary is that the experience should be sound and genuine. The pressure of understanding and will in the mind, and the Godward emotional urge in the heart, are the first two agents of yoga, and peace, purity, and calm, with a lulling of the lower unrest, are precisely the first basis that has to be laid. To get that is much more important in the beginning than to get a glimpse of the supraphysical worlds, or to have visions, voices, and powers. Purification and calm are the first needs in the yoga. One may have a great wealth of experiences of that kind, worlds, visions, voices, etc., without them. But these experiences, occurring in an unpurified and troubled consciousness, are usually full of disorder and mixture. At a certain stage of the sadhana, in the beginning, or near it, of the more intense experiences, it sometimes happens that there is the intense realization of some aspect of the divine, a sort of communion with it, and that is seen everywhere and all as that. It is a transitory phase, and afterwards one gets the larger experience of the personal divine in all its aspects and beyond all aspects. Throughout the experience, there should be one part of the being that observes and understands. For sometimes ignorant sadhaks are carried away by their experience and stop short there or fall into extravagance. It must be taken as an experience through which you are passing. The special experiences you are having are glimpses of what is to be, and what is growing and preparing, and are helping to make the consciousness ready for it. It is not, therefore, surprising that they change and are replaced by others. That is what usually happens. For it is not these forms that are to be perpetuated, but the essence of the thing which they are bringing. Thus, the one thing that has to grow most now is the silence, the quietude, the peace, the free emptiness into which experiences can come, the sense of coolness and release. When that is in possession of the consciousness fully, then something else will come into it, which is also essential to the true consciousness, and fix itself. It proceeds usually like that. There is nothing strange, therefore, in the special forms of experience ceasing and being followed by others, after you have written about or brought them to the Mother. When the more permanent forms of realization begin to come, it will no longer be like that. I do not question at all the personal intensity or concreteness of your internal experiences. But experiences can be intense and yet be very mixed in their truth and their character. In your experience, your own subjectivity, sometimes your ego pushes, interfere very much and give them their form and the impression they create on you. It is only if there is a pure psychic response that the form given to the experience is likely to be the right one, and the mental and vital movements will then present themselves in their true nature. Otherwise, the mind, the vital, the ego give their own color to what happens, their own turn, very usually their own deformation. Intensity is not a guarantee of entire truth and correctness in an experience. It is only purity of the consciousness that can give an entire truth and correctness. Experiences on the mental and vital and subtle physical planes, or thought formations and vital formations, are often represented as if they were concrete external happenings. True experiences are in the same way distorted by mental and vital accretions and additions. One of the first needs in our yoga is a discrimination and a psychic tact, distinguishing the false from the true, putting each thing in its place, and giving it its true value or absence of value, not carried away by the excitement of the mind or the vital being.